Well, since we've been on the topic of refining learning and understanding the value of mental practice, I just want to share a quick story with you. This past weekend, I had a friend of mine come up with his kids, and we went to a local water park, and they have one of those wave rider surfing things. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you haven't, you should Google it. Check it out. They're pretty cool. It's basically it's like you're standing stationary on a board, or you can be on a boogie board or a knee board, but water just flies out of this thing and makes a wave and goes up over the backside, and you just kind of stand still and ride this thing. Well, the first time we went on it, we were riding on the boogie board, so you're down low. It's a lot easier. And then I saw that they had these like wake skate type of things. I don't know what they're called, but it looked like a wake skate to me. And so I asked if I could hop on one. I knew it would be harder to get out. And so anyways, hopped on it and had to sign a liability thing before I went on because it's pretty dangerous. And the first couple of times I went on it, coming off, there's a mat here, and you start on it, and then you just ease your way into, this is the water here. You ease your way into the water, and you're holding a rope while the lifeguard is holding the other end to keep you stable. And the first few times, like, it was, as soon as I got in the water, it was just, and it just throws you right up over the edge of this thing. And so I tried it a couple times, and there was a big lineup of other kids wanted to go on there, so we went and did something else. And not too long after, there was these guys that showed up who were apparently some of the best in the world at this. And watching them, it was just off the chain. It was like these guys just made it look so ridiculously easy, like anybody else who's exceptional at something. And so I sat there and watched them for a while. And it was interesting because the first little bit, my thought was, these guys are, I could never get here. And all I kept thinking about was how much I sucked at this and how it's, just all this negative stuff. And then I actually started to just sit there and watch them. And I started to like picture myself doing what he's doing and feeling how that must have felt. And I was really involving myself, really engaging in mental practice. And I wasn't really necessarily at first doing it intentionally. I just looked at this and thought, wow, that's so cool. And so I started to picture it and practice it in my own mind. I got up the next time, and my friends that were with me were like, you improved. Like, what happened to you? It was night and day. I mean, I wasn't anywhere near close to them, and I had a massive wipeout. Like, I got whiplash from it. But nonetheless, it was like, this is why I push mental practice in everything. Because without engaging in mental practice, it's like you're just going to fumble around 10 times, 100 times more than you need to. Mentally practicing and engaging, looking at somebody who's doing what it is you want to do and seeing yourself doing that, feeling yourself doing it, and relating to it in the same way that, if you've been around me, I've shared lots of examples of this. It makes all the difference in the world because this thing, it'll figure it out. Like when I go to grab my glass of water, I don't have to command every single muscle and every joint and ligament and everything else that's going on in there and every single firing from my brain and nerve, all of the stuff, all the incredible complexity that's going on for me just to do that. I don't have any thought of any of that whatsoever. I just give it the goal and it does it. And there's something to that. And when we're trying to do something, whether it's speak more confidently, whether you want to become more patient with your kids or your spouse, whatever it is, sales, seeing yourself as confident in a selling situation and laid back, or whatever that thing is that you want to be able to do, you have to engage in mental practice. You have to practice that, and you've got to do it in a place like this or whatever, where you're relaxed and you're not in the situation trying to be different. Because just like I in the moment when I'm trying to ride this water, I could not do the same thing that I did when I was sitting relaxed, comfortable, and safe, watching somebody else do it and practicing there. Same thing when I played competitive golf. It's well known amongst competitive golfers that if you go out on the course, particularly in a tournament where there's pressure, and you start trying to mess with your swing and fix your swing flaws, you're going to end up in an absolute disaster. It's no different on a sales call, in a selling situation, in public speaking. If you try to start fixing problems while you're in the midst of that, you're in deep trouble. Somebody who's in martial arts, same thing. You have to have it so ingrained from practicing in a relaxed environment that when you get into the situation, it flows out of you naturally. This is why mental practice is everything, and yet so few people will actually do it. The reason mental practice works is your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real and an imagined experience. And so when you're going to attempt to do something like riding that wave or playing golf or selling or whatever it is, you're always going back to a successful attempt at doing something and drawing from that. And this is why mental practice or role playing or anything like what we're talking about is so key, because you can do it successfully without the pressure. And you will draw from that when it comes game time. You have to do this. This is absolutely job number one when it comes to improvement and doing it efficiently and fast. I hope that helps you guys. And hit me up. Let me know how this serves you. Thanks.